Hey everybody, Alexa Zepp here with the Daily Racing Form, and happy summer everybody. It's finally here, what we all wait for, Saratoga's opening weekend, and that's exactly what I'm going to be focusing on today, is the late pick 3 at this Saturday at Saratoga, races 10, 11, 12, including the features on the card. So race 10 is where it starts, the Grade 1 Diana Stakes. It's a 1.125 on the inner turf for fillies and mares, 4-year-olds and up. Half of this field is trained by Chad Brown, one of them being the reigning champion White Beam, who won with a 100 buyer last year, but has not found the winner's circle since in 4 starts. Timeform does have her listed as the only speed horse in here, and the pace projector shows her leading the field at the half-mile mark. However, she hasn't run 9 furlongs since this last race, and despite being the lone speed, I don't think she's going to hold on the lead and fend off some of these competitors for a repeat title. So who will I be including? The number 1, Moira. Her 2-year-old and 3-year-old year made her look like a true rising star after winning 4 of her first 5 outs at Woodbine, including the Queen's Plate. She then proceeded to kind of disappoint us for 5 starts, being favorited for 4 of them. She was running against really tough competition and definitely not running bad numbers, but her speed figures just weren't progressing as we would like to see for a 3-4-year-old developing into her prime. However, she then gave us these 2 huge performances, one in the Grade 2 Canadian at today's distance at 9 furlongs, where she won by 6 with a 101 buyer, and then another in her most recent start in the Breeders' Cup Filly and Mare Turf with a 103 buyer. While she didn't win that day and got 3rd, she was behind 2 dominant Euros, and for me, this was still absolutely one of her best performances against the toughest she's ever faced. That most recent start, though, wasn't that recent, right? That was Breeders' Cup, so she's coming off a very long layoff since last November. But she's done this before with multiple 7-month layoffs, and she won first out the first time and got second by a neck the other time. So we know she can be tight and ready, and I think if she's ready today, she will definitely be a force to be reckoned with. I'll also be including the number 4, Didia. This 6-year-old mare has incredible tactical speed and has won 7 out of 10 starts since coming to the United States, including her lifetime best win in the Grade 1 New York last month at Saratoga during the Belmont at Saratoga Festival. That race was a 1 3/16, so we know both track and distance are no concern for her. I think her preferred trip will be to track White Beam's pace and make her move at the top of the stretch like she did in the Grade 1 New York. However, like I said, she does have tactical speed and can handle different pace scenarios, so we'll just have to see how the race unfolds for her. I'm only going to be using one of Chad Brown's 5 in here with the number 10, Chili Flag. Although she has yet to break the triple digits for a speed figure, which is what it took to win this race last year, she's right there and currently on a winning streak. She beat half of this field in her last out at Saratoga in the Grade 1 Just a Game. Prior to that, she won the Grade 2 Distaff Turf Mile at Churchill on Derby Day, and then the Grade 3 Honey Fox at Gulfstream. She has done nothing but improve every single start and has just an incredible burst of speed and energy late in the race. Being a last-to-first runner obviously always comes with the risk of not getting the trip that she needs. And she hasn't ever run this distance against this level of competition, so those are my only questions or concerns I have about her in here. Race 11 is the Grade 3 Sanford for 2-year-olds going 6 furlongs on the dirt. I'm using the 1 Minty, and I hate doing it. I hate using a 6-5 favorite in a 2-year-old race, but his debut is hard to argue with. I mean, this is the full brother to last year's juvenile champion Fierceness, and he scored an 88 buyer that race, breaking the 61-year-old track record with 5 furlongs in 56.97 seconds. He was ahead by 5 lengths halfway down the stretch and then slowed down and only won by a nose. Really saved by the wire there. In my opinion, I really do think this was more him being green and losing focus than tiring, and I think he will just continue to mature with experience. The number 6, Studley Do Right, love the name, has a leg up on the majority of this field, being one of 2 in here that has run over the Saratoga course before, and the only one to have won over it. He's been out twice and won both times by sitting back and closing on the pace. This race, I do believe, should have a quick pace and one that he can close into once again. I'll also be using the number 8, Moplex. This horse is by Complexity, who I've really had my eye on as I recommended him to a friend for breeding her mare earlier this year. And my oh my, has he proven to be a winning choice. He's probably the hottest freshman sire right now. He's had 14 horses debut and 10 of them have won. Moplex is one of them, winning his maiden special weight last month against New York Breds at Aqueduct by 10 lengths. Now, trainer Jeremiah Englehart is 28% with 2-year-olds and 25% for winning last start. Irad's also staying aboard. Finally, race 12, starter Allowance, going 5.5 furlongs on the turf for 3-year-olds and up. Time from US shows this pace having a slow pace and favoring front runners. So I like the number 1, Final Verdict. He switched to turf for the first time last month and wired the field with an 80 buyer. He got disqualified though, and that's why he qualifies for today's condition. So from that, we already know he can win at this level. He's been forwardly placed in every single start of his career, except for one. So we know the pace setup should fit for him, being a slow pace. He also had a bullet work last week that tells me he's ready and fit for this spot. I'll be using the number 2, Dr. Osserin. The 2 races he's won, he wired the field, and he has decent speed in here compared to the competition. He failed in Stakes Company, and then after a year back, ran a decent race his first out at Pimlico in May. His race a month ago was disappointing, so they're dropping him in here. His trainer, Christophe Clement, is 30% in these races with over a $2 ROI. And finally, I'll be using number 5, Hey Mac, It's Jack. It looks like this horse has had some kind of issue. It avoided claim last May and then had a year off. However, he came back last month and ran back to his performance before the break. He's cutting back half a furlong and should be forwardly placed as well. Junior Alvarado is back on board, who rode him to victory that last win before his break. I think he has ability, and I really like him at his 8-1 morning line odds. So this is a nice quick pick 3 to end the day at Saratoga. It's $27 for $1. Throw your bet in. Good luck to you. Have so much fun this opening weekend at Saratoga.